Israelis and Palestinians are anxiously awaiting the next step in the Gaza ceasefire deal, which will see the release of 4 young female hostages in exchange for around 200 Palestinian prisoners later today. Karina Ariev, Daniela Gilboa, Naama Levi and Laura Albag were kidnapped by Hamas and will be the second group released since a ceasefire with Israel came into force last Sunday. Their return will trigger the release of more Palestinian prisoners held in Israeli jails.
And correspondent Lauren Day is in Jerusalem with the latest.
What we're expecting is that at some point on Saturday, possibly in the morning, we'll see the release of this next round of hostages, these 4 female hostages who've been held by Hamas in Gaza since the war began 15 months ago. Now, they have been named by Hamas as Karina Ariev, Daniela Gilboa, Naama Levi and Laura Albag. They're all about 19 or 20 years old, all female IDF soldiers who were based at a military base down near the Gaza Strip and abducted from that base on October 7, 2023. Now, under the terms of the ceasefire agreement, Israel is supposed to release 50 Palestinian prisoners or detainees for every female soldier. So what we're also expecting to see is the release of about 200 Palestinian prisoners. Now, Israel is yet to publicly release its list of who they will be, but we understand that unlike last week, the first round of releases last Sunday, where we saw a lot of young women who were in for very minor things like posting on social media or under what's called administrative detention, where they're not charged with anything at all, this time, this category is much more serious. And we're likely to see some prisoners who've committed really serious crimes, including murder. The one thing we won't see, according to Israel, is anyone who was involved in those October 7 attacks. And the other really important thing that we're likely to see today is the IDF forces starting to withdraw from this area of the Gaza Strip called the Netzarim corridor that dissects the Strip from north to south. And that will mean that displaced Palestinians in Gaza will begin to return to their homes in the north, or what's left of their homes there. And given the scenes of utter devastation in northern Gaza, it's likely that they will just be returning to rubble.
Lauren, there's a lot of focus on the Israel-Hamas ceasefire, of course, but then this is not the only ceasefire that's in place. What's happening to the north in Lebanon?
That's right. Sometimes it's easy to forget that Israel has been fighting a war on multiple fronts for the past 15 months. And today, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu finally announced that Israeli troops will remain in southern Lebanon beyond the deadline that was agreed to in that ceasefire agreement. Under the agreement, both Israel and Hezbollah were supposed to be withdrawing their forces from southern Lebanon by this Sunday. But Israel has now said that it will be remaining because it says it's been too slow, it's taken too long for Hezbollah to withdraw its forces and be replaced by the Lebanese military, so they're concerned about the security of residents in northern Israel. Not clear how long they will remain there for. There was some speculation that they were seeking a 30-day extension. They haven't weighed in on whether or not that's true. The White House has said that there will be a brief extension of their time in southern Lebanon. And in terms of Hezbollah, they're yet to release a statement about this latest development, but they did release one on Friday when there was speculation about this, just warning that they were keeping an eye on developments and that any breach of this ceasefire deal would not be accepted.